You're watching Good Morning Northland on WDIO WIRT.
Good morning, Northland. It's Monday, February 11th, and you're starting the work week with lots of snow, but it's starting to taper off now. So for the latest, let's go live to Chief Meteorologist Justin Lyles, who's on Central Entrance in Duluth.
You know what? The traffic out here is moving along really slow, and you can see behind me just a few trucks and cars that have gone by. But if you notice the road here a little bit too, it kind of has that glossy surface. There's still a lot of snow on top of it, but kind of icy on the bottom of it. We really haven't seen a whole lot of cars pass by in the half hour that we have been out here. Now, significantly difficult travel this morning. Now, these are the major emergency routes that are plowed, and we've watched the snow plow go by here already 3 times just trying to just level things out a little bit. But the problem that a lot of you are going to have this morning is the residential areas. Having a hard time getting to those right now, as there is quite a bit of snowfall out there. But you can see that when they do get out here and plow, we'll walk up this little embankment here, and you can see just how high it is, some 2 to 3 feet in places. So when the snowplow goes by, you're going to be dealing with this out of your front of your driveway trying to dig out. And you can see the sign behind me is completely covered. Now, there's still light snow out here. Every once in a while we get a gust of wind with some blowing and drifting snow out here, so a little difficulty out on the road still this morning. So if you're going to be out and about, allow yourself enough time, and make sure if you're going to be doing any shoveling to take your time doing that, as well as a heavy wet snow, or that back-breaking snow that we like to call it.
All right, definitely good advice. Thanks, Justin. So what does the rest of the day have in store? For that, let's go to check in with Ben. Ben, what can folks expect out there?
Well, Brittany, as Justin mentioned, this winter storm is in its winding down phases right now. We're not going to see a whole lot more heavy snow, but the lingering snow showers will continue at least through the first half of the day. And you can see that on radar right now, a lot of light lingering snow showers, but it is still impacting roadways out there this morning. We still have difficult travel across the Northland. This does include Highway 2 and on the Minnesota side and Wisconsin side, and especially here in the city of Duluth. Not necessarily the main roads, but as Justin mentioned, it's the residential streets that still have some very difficult travel out there this morning. So make sure you give yourself an extra couple minutes, not only to get out of your driveway, but also to brush off your car if you still haven't had the chance to do that. Now, here's how your forecast breaks down for today. Snowpack roads out at the breakfast hour, 27 degrees. By lunchtime, temperature holding pretty steady with just a few lingering snow showers, and by supper time most of that snow will pretty much be over and done with. And again, steady thermometer today. We don't really have that really cold air pushing in behind the system, which is some good news, but it is going to be rather breezy out there. We will continue to see some blowing and drifting snow, but as Justin mentioned, once again, it is going to be a little difficult out there this morning. Give yourself an extra couple minutes.
Once again, very good advice out there. All right, thanks, Ben. Yep. Well, many of you had to deal with the blowing and drifting snow all day yesterday. At one point, area police departments advised against any travel. Duluth police even took all of their 2-wheel drive vehicles off the road. But as Alan Hoagland found out, many didn't have that luxury, and it caused some problems on the roads.
I misjudged the road. I couldn't see the road and slid into the ditch.
We found Duluth's Catherine Augusta on Observation Road just a few hours after the snow started to fall.
I'm trying to use his phone to get on Facebook to find people to help me.
That's this man's phone, Chase Carlson, who's driving his truck through the deepest snow looking for stranded folks like Augusta.
Yeah, there's a lot of cars. Well, you can't see, especially right here. I was coming around earlier. You can't even see the ditch, and it looks like that's what happened to hers.
We found those stranded cars for ourselves, here on the eastern edge of downtown Duluth. An hour later, another car in the very same spot. Then a few blocks up Mesaba Avenue, more stranded cars. It's a main road, so it's a priority for plowing crews. While they're trying to keep them clear, those plow drivers tell us the snow piled up too fast for much of the day.
As soon as we wipe it off, it comes back.
And remember, if your street isn't plowed yet, be patient.
Like I said, the mains come first, so the emergency vehicles and such can get through. And then we go to residentials, and then after residentials to alleys. So it's kind of a 3-step process.
In Duluth, I'm Alan Hoagland for Eyewitness News.
Between 10 and about 4:30 yesterday, the Minnesota State Patrol says they handled nearly 240 crashes and about 400 cars that left the road. The State Patrol is expected to update those numbers later this morning. And for the latest school alerts, cancellations, and road conditions, visit WDIO.com. In New England, folks continue to clean up after a massive storm hit that region this weekend. Utility crews are working around the clock to restore power to about 180,000 customers without electricity in Massachusetts. And the storm is being blamed for 15 deaths in the U.S. and Canada. But the governor of Massachusetts says the storm could have been much worse.
Considering the severity of the storm, the amount of snow and the wind, we've come through this pretty well.
Driving bans have been lifted and flights have resumed at major airports that had closed during the storm. Today's forecast calls for warmer temperatures and rain. Back here in the Northland, a man is dead in Bayfield County after crashing his snowmobile. Authorities say that a man hit this tree with his snowmobile yesterday afternoon, dying on impact. The 54-year-old Iowa man was snowmobiling about 2 miles south of Cornucopia in the township of Bell. Emergency crews got the 911 call around 3 p.m. Friday. The Bayfield County Sheriff's Office believes that high speed and alcohol were contributing factors in the crash. However, the incident is still under investigation by the Wisconsin DNR. Over in St. Louis County, authorities reported to a couple of snowmobile accidents with injuries this weekend. The sheriff's office says one of them happened in Balkan Township Saturday night. Authorities say 30-year-old David Ninas suffered non-life-threatening injuries after he hit a wooden deck and chimney of a house while traveling across Long Lake. He was brought by ambulance to a Hibbing hospital. The sheriff's office says alcohol appears to be a factor in the crash, but it is still under investigation. Meanwhile, the sheriff's office was called to a different crash earlier Saturday evening. 54-year-old Scott Corcoran of Duluth hit an exposed rock on Crane Lake, ejecting him from the snowmobile. He was brought to a Cook hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The St. Louis County Sheriff's Office says icy roads, speed, and alcohol were factors in an early morning accident over the weekend. Authorities say 20-year-old Parker Drift was heading east on Net Lake Road near or around 5:50 a.m. yesterday. That's when he lost control of his vehicle and rolled over twice. Drift was airlifted to St. Mary's Essentia Health Hospital in Duluth with unknown injuries. His passenger, 20-year-old Garrett Morrison, was treated and released from the Cook Hospital. The accident remains under investigation. The attorney for a Minestra man says his client feels overwhelming guilt after his SUV went through the ice and his daughter drowned. Prosecutors say Jonathan Markle had a blood alcohol content of 0.13 2 hours after his SUV broke into Lake Minnetonka last month. His daughter was strapped in the back seat and died at an area hospital. He appeared in court Friday on charges of vehicular manslaughter. Markle's attorney says the system, quote, cannot punish him any more than he has been punished. Coming up on Good Morning Northland, find out why you may want to check your credit score again. But first, the time is now 6:07 and Ben has your full Monday forecast after this, so don't go away.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Samantha Marotra. We want to start with what's on everyone's mind today, the weather. Our chief meteorologist, Justin Lyles, joins us now, and he's braving some very strong winds out there. Justin, can you let us know what's happening?
Well, the winds have really picked up here in the last half hour to 45 minutes, and the snow was slow getting here, but about in the last half hour to 45 minutes, the snow is really starting to accumulate rather quickly. Now, you'll notice that I am protecting the side of my face because the winds have picked up, and there's nothing better than what it feels like to have ice pellets hitting you in the side of the face like you're just getting blasted by a sandblaster. But you can see just how windy it really has become. You can probably even hear it just through the microphone. But we are looking at some bad road conditions out there across the Northland, and you can see that areas of Wisconsin and areas into just south of the Twin Ports are getting hit the hardest. Now, we just received a report that the DOT is emphasizing that no travel is requested, or they're emphasizing that you do not travel if you live south of the Cloquet area on Interstate 35.
Well, the first funeral services for the 20 children killed in the deadly shooting at the Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newtown, Connecticut will be held today. So now let's go live to ABC's Tamon Bradley, who has the latest.
Good morning. Today will be another difficult day for this grieving community. The first funerals for some of the victims will be held, and last night's prayer vigil, attended by President Obama, is something this community and country will not soon forget.
Josephine.
The more than 900 mourners who packed Newtown High.
Many people are waking up and learning about this morning, and for the very latest details on this tragic situation, let's head to Washington, D.C., where ABC Tamon Bradley is live.
Good morning, I'm Tamon Bradley. Terrifying moments overnight in suburban Denver. At least 14 people dead, 50 wounded, and a mass shooting overnight at the premiere of the new Batman movie, The Dark Knight Rises.
Good morning, Northland. It is Friday, December 7th. I'm Brittany Falkers.
And I'm Ben Derry, and we are here live at the Coppertop Church here in Duluth for our annual Have a Heart, Help a Neighbor food drive.
And it is a great event, a great day to come out and do some friendly neighborhood giving.
I'd say so. So we've been out here for about an hour and a half or so, and it's not quite as cold as what it was last year. That's what people have been telling us. How are you feeling this morning?
I'm feeling pretty comfortable. I'm feeling good. We're getting the donations going. Everybody's kind of got that good spirit of giving going on.
Yeah, definitely. There was even some Christmas music playing here earlier this morning. We hope you are in the holiday spirit, because we certainly are here on Good Morning Northland this morning. Now, we're going to toss it over to Brittany.
Thanks, Ben. And usually when it's this cold out, we're not always thinking about baseball, but that's what we're doing this morning. We got Harley the Husky here and Michael, who is the owner of the Huskies, and we have a really awesome thing that these guys are doing. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, thanks very much. We do appreciate having the opportunity to be here this morning. The Duluth Huskies want to be an integral player, certainly, in what is going on here. We've got a lot of people that need assistance during this time of the year, and the Huskies are very happy to have been able to make a generous donation here of tickets and make that $25 contribution. You're going to get a free complimentary ticket.
Thank you all for stopping by and coming to watch us. We'll be here till 9 o'clock, and we'll have the Marshall School take it away.
Lo, how a rose blooming from tender stem has sprung, of Jesse's lineage coming, as men of old have sung. It came a floweret bright amid the cold of winter, when half spent.
So let's check in one final time with Lori Stribling, who's live at the deck. Lori?
Brittany, I've been out here all morning, but I have to say this might be my favorite part. I've never ridden a Zamboni, let alone with Donald Duck. I don't know, do you have a driver's license? I'm not sure. Oh, I think he might have a driver's license. If not, he's driving anyway.
Let's talk about the TIV, the Tornado Intercept Vehicle. What are some of the qualities that you can tell us based on the outside here?
Well, this vehicle weighs 7 tons, so the weight of the vehicle helps keep us planted when we intercept tornadoes. These flaps come all the way down, and their main role is to block the wind from getting under the vehicle. So we try to funnel the wind over the top of the vehicle, and when that accelerates over the top, it kind of helps plant the vehicle. It pushes down on it. Also, as long as we're not on pavement, if we're on a gravel road such as this or a dirt road, we can utilize these spikes. These front spikes go a little over 3 feet into the ground, and then we have 2 spikes on the rear that go in a little over 2 feet.
I don't understand what you've seen or all you have done, but if I could bring you peace today, my battle would be won.
Well, Mary wore 3 links of chain, every link was Jesus' name. Keep your hands on the plow and hold on, hold on, hold on. Keep your hands on the plow and hold on.
And Jess is going to show us some of the moves that you can learn if you try out hot yoga. So let's get started here.
Let's inhale, reach up towards the ceiling, and you can kind of back bend a little bit. And then as you exhale, you're going to swan dive down, keeping that back nice and flat.
Ben and I are here with Minnesota's first licensed wine educator, instructor, David DeVere. Welcome to the show, David.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And you're going to be giving us a little lesson in wine.
Right. We're going to do a mini wine tasting this morning. So wine tasting, the difference between tasting and drinking is thinking. Okay, so
Okay.
you have to
That
train.
makes sense.
Right, you have to train your senses to appreciate wine.
And we have a list of the wine temperatures right now in degrees, from red wines to complex white wines to those light fruity red wines. Pretty interesting stuff.
So now take it up to your nose and give it a big sniff. I mean, really stick your nose in there and smell it. Now, do you smell that grapefruit?
I can definitely smell that grapefruit, especially after smelling that and then smelling this.
So we can hear the steam coming out. You can see it right here too. So how long are we going to put this in here for?
3 minutes a pound plus 5 minutes. These are 14-pound birds, so, you know.
All right, perfect.
You just take and inject it into the meaty part of the bird. Try and go a couple directions.
So is there a technique to finding that perfect spot to start injecting it, or do you just kind of find the meatiest part?
I like to find the meatiest part. You could go in here and go either direction. I like to go in there and get that area and then just redirect it to the front.
And there are so many great varieties on the market that really you couldn't go wrong with anything
So
that's out there. Or you could make your own as well.
Patting this on pretty good. Do we want every single side? Or
Yeah, I would turn it over.
All right.
And I've got a couple bites for you to try there too, Ben.
I'm going to give this a try, and I just know I'm going to love it. You do such good work for us.
Well, thank you. Well, I know the crew loves all the samples that they get at the end of the shoot.
All right, we're going to try this. That's just fantastic.
Yeah.
The spices that we used on there are just terrific. And again, you can use it with pretty much anything. It's just that versatile meat.
Hi everybody, I'm here at the Minnesota Wine Exchange in downtown Duluth. Now, what kind of wine are we going to be trying with this?
This is an Irene's Blush out of Cannon River Winery.
Okay.
And it's got a little sweetness to it, but it's got a nice blend of the grapes too that they grow down there.
I'm going to have to drink a little bit more of this before we go.
Sounds good.
Well, thanks so much, Debbie. It's really quite delicious, and this is just a sampling of the hors d'oeuvres and the wine here. You got to come check it out yourself and try the pairings. Thank you so much, Debbie, for letting us in. Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers. I'm here with Brad and Amy Herzog, and you two have been traveling for many years, and now you're doing it in the RV. You've been doing that for a while.
We did 314 days on the road, and mostly in 1996, and we fell in love with the RV experience. So now, for 13 years in summers in a row, we've done it in an RV, and it's more than just a way of getting from point A to point B. It's just sort of traveling in comfort with the adventure of the open road, and you know, feeling like with our kids that they can keep to the same routine every day. So we just love the whole experience.
Did you know that one of the most unique hotels in the country is right here in the Northland? Northern Rail Train Car Suites in Two Harbors was recently named the 6th most quirky hotel in the country by the popular travel website TripAdvisor. So Ben and I had to check this place out. We're here in Two Harbors at the Northern Rail Train Car Suites.
This place has been dubbed as one of the top most quirkiest, craziest, most unusual hotels in the country, and we're going to find out why.
So let's go check it out.
All right.
Hi, welcome to Northern Rail Train Car Suites. I'm Cindy, the manager.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
So tell us a little bit about this place.
Well, Northern Rail Train Car Suites was the brainchild of a gal named Linda Ellens. She stayed in a converted caboose in Napa Valley and decided she wanted to build something with train cars. We are a unique hotel with a B&B feel. We are small, we're different. That's what most B&Bs are, is very small, very different. Most people, when they get their room key, they'll turn and go down the hallway and go, oh my, it looks like a train station. The concept was the depot and platform of a train station where trains would be coming and going and you'd have a center hallway. Well, that's what this is. All of our rooms are themed. We have some Victorian rooms, and Linda chose that as a representation of the Orient Express. Some safari rooms that was in reference to the safari trains of the 1920s. Linda wanted some things that were North Shore related, so she did a couple of lighthouse rooms, a golf room, like hit the little white ball golf, and a fishing room.
Now these hotel rooms are in these original box cars before they were retired. On each car they have their own identification number as well as some graffiti, and underneath these aren't the original rails. They had to build their own tracks and then lay the box cars on top.
At first she looked for cabooses and they weren't available. The railroad doesn't use them anymore. So she ended up with boxcars, and she called a place in the Twin Cities and said, do you sell used boxcars? They said, yes, we do. She said, how much? And they told her, and she said, I'll take 10. Do you deliver? And that kind of started it all, and they delivered them by rail to 2 harbors. They brought in the train cars piece by piece. They brought them in, they had to bring the wheels in first. The trucks is what it's called. It's the wheelbases. There's per car, there's 2 sets. And they brought those in first, and then they brought the boxes in and put them down, and then the next set of wheels, the next box, hooked them together, and did that 10 times. Graffiti is all original to the cars. Nothing has been changed, added to. Well, there's one in the hallway that we did have to change. It was not a good word.
Now, when you enter your rooms, like this one might just seem like your average Victorian-style room, but you're quickly reminded when you look up that you're in a boxcar. These mechanisms were actually used to keep the boxcars in place when they were still in use, and you can find more interesting details on your ceiling.
A lot of the ceilings they're all a plywood type of ceiling, and some of them have signatures. People who have ridden the rails, the hobos, they like to be called rail riders now, not hobos. And in room 208 is our most famous signature. It's not really famous, but it's Bad Bob, the wild albino. It is said that that particular room that he still visits. Who knows?
You've been nominated as the craziest, quirkiest. What's your favorite one?
Well, we're on 4 lists. The first one is Peter Greenberg's list of the world's 10 most unusual hotels, and I think that's my favorite one because we are unusual. We're different. Quirky is different. The rooms are themed. The rooms are in train cars. It's kind of quirky.
We really did have a lot of fun at the Northern Rail Train Car Suites, and we want to thank Cindy Ryder and her staff for being so welcoming and showing us around.
And we'll have more details on this quirky place at our website, wdio.com.